My homie, we major, even our atoms breaking laws, time testers. We soul investors, revolutionary setters. The return of kings and queens from where they down dreams. But don't forget the bullet wasn't made for the messengers. Relations beyond religion, we represent the rest of ya. A message to what we spittin', they live it, that we blessing ya. Reality regulators, we re-up. Stay to read, stay to read, stay to read, stay to read, stay to read.
Mic check 1 2 1 2, live and direct on the spot.
Yes, sir.
We at the crib.
We here.
Yes, sir. Episode 100. We are live here, baby. Yep, we made it here. We've been away for a little while. You rocking with Professor Dean.
FoReal Khalil.
And this is our first actual video of us
But
on the pod. But
this is called a mukbang.
Mukbang. What's the mukbang?
So this is the state of mukbang.
What's the state of mukbang? Explain it to the folks, man.
Well, I have to admit, I've been having some obsessions lately.
what kind of obsessions you talking about, bro?
I've been obsessed with watching people eat.
Okay.
And I've been it's this work
It's
from
on
home.
YouTube? Is it, what
Yeah, it's
okay.
this work from home. It's getting to me. So I came across, I can't pronounce his last name, but he used to be Timothy Della Ghetto from Wild and Out.
Okay.
I can't pronounce his last name.
I can't either. Sorry, Tim.
But he has these mukbangs, and he be eating, eating with his co-host from Wild and Out or any new show he started, eating with his friends. And I noticed that I was watching like 3 in a day while I'm working.
While he's working. And
I was just like, yo, what is wrong? And then after I watch, I'd be super hungry, run to the kitchen, try to make some good food. So I was inspired.
Inspired to do a mukbang?
To do a mukbang.
For episode 100, you rocking with Professor Dean.
FoReal Khalil.
On the Statery podcast. Something different for y'all. And we're going to do a normal format. You've never listened to us before. This is your first time. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. But today, we're going to start with what kind of food do we have?
You tell me. You brought this here. I don't know what this is.
So in the Korean culture, it's called chicken and beer. Mm-hmm. I can't even say it in the Korean term. Y'all put it in the comments. But basically, they pair chicken with beer.
Okay.
And so
this is Korean food.
This is Korean chicken style chicken. But as we know, so the beer is not Korean beer.
Japanese
it's
beer.
Japanese beer.
This is one of my favorite beers.
So this is our version. This is one of his favorite beers. This is our version of a chicken and beer.
What is that called? What was it called? A chimek.
Chimek. Y'all please correct that for me if you know down there.
And so, this is funny, chicken and beer. Everyone thought this was a ghetto, urban, black thing. This comes from Korea.
No, I don't know. I mean, that's a great reference point. Like where, how people have done it, where it comes from. Mm-hmm. I think that'd be a historically cool thing to explore.
That just goes to the point. We're all alike, and we keep trying to create these differences. And we're all alike, even when it comes down to chicken and beer.
Yeah, go back and listen to episode 99. We talk about that. But anyways,
yep.
So today we're gonna try crispy and crunchy. Crispy, yeah.
Get a good zoom into that. Ooh, yeah. So this is the crispy,
bro, and then this is the crunchy.
Okay.
And this is more baked style. I think chicken.
And then we have some delicious
honey butter fries.
Honey butter fries.
Butter fries, bro. This is from Vons.
And what are these exquisite treats here?
I mean, that's part of the you eat that with the chicken. That's like in Korean, they have these side dishes with. Have you ever eaten Korean barbecue? Where they place all the
No.
Man, I gotta take you to Korean barbecue.
Yeah.
That'll be our next mukbang.
That's a dope necklace, by the way.
It's a Japanese inspired, but also African inspired.
Oh, so it's a mix.
So Dr. Piper.
Yeah.
His wife is Japanese.
Oh,
and he's black.
Right. Yeah,
obviously. So he made this beef for me.
That's dope.
So it's a integration of culture.
That's an interesting topic. It's an interesting topic. We might need to talk about this one day.
Yeah, for sure. And he's my mentor, so he gave this to me, so I rock this a lot. Yeah. For sure. But
cheers.
Cheers, brother. I already opened mine because I was ready to drink.
Episode 100.
Episode 100.
And cheers to everything else.
Yep, cheers to life.
So, let's dig in. I'm going to start off with what's right in front of you. Crispy.
That's good. This is crunchy. So I have a question, man. Are you a wings or are you like a drumstick dude?
Either one, I just eat. That sounds crunchy. That's chicken right there. Oh, this is hot too.
Spicy, bro.
Oh, this is good though. Okay.
Can you eat spicy?
I see what you did there. Oh yeah, it's that good.
What's up, dude?
So, I just eat them.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Wings, flats, I just eat them.
Okay.
What about you?
I prefer drumsticks over wings.
Okay.
Because people love wings. So let's talk about that real quick. What are the best wing spots in the United States that you had, that you can think of?
Best wings. Atlanta, Georgia, baby.
Any spots particular?
Everywhere had good wings. The airport, the hotel lobby, the gas station.
You crazy. I believe the gas station, though.
I'm telling you.
I believe the gas station, though, dog.
I'm telling you, everywhere. The car wash.
Okay. I'm slurping on my beer. My bad, y'all. The next question. Boneless or...
No bone. It's bone.
On occasion, I don't mind boneless, though.
I'll eat it. But I'm not going to order it.
Are you a McDonald's boneless nuggets?
I'll eat it. That's my issue. I'll eat food.
Okay.
I'm not too picky, but I will, I have my specifics.
Okay. Cool.
So, this is State of Re, man. What we here to talk about?
Well,
This honey butters are hitting.
I'm still eating, bro.
What place is this?
This is Vons. It's V-O-N-S. It's in the Bay.
V-O-N-S.
Yeah, they
Not
got
the
one,
grocery store.
Not the grocery stores. No, not the grocery
Oh
store.
my gosh. And
So-
these is kind of cold.
I know. We should have microwaved it. But
That's crazy.
and we have some sticky rice with this.
Honey butter French fries from Bombs. That's good. All right.
Normally I'll be eating this with some sticky rice though.
Whew.
Have you ever had sticky rice?
No, probably not.
All right. So episode 100. We'll get started, y'all. We always start off with shit is redunkulous.
You want to know what's redunkulous? We ain't got no damn napkins. So forgive us for licking our fingers. Oh, you got
I
napkins.
stole one earlier, but yeah, I got one. So shit is redunkulous is like we always talking about shit that's wild out there right now. And one of the wild shit I've seen lately and recently was old dude on the Frontier Airlines. The dude had groped the woman and then tried to grope him, and they both just snatched his ass and taped him up on the chair. That shit was ridiculous because right now flights if you fly Spirit Airlines,
Spirit, Frontier.
Frontier is bad, but it ain't that bad. Spirit, bro,
Oh,
is
really?
on
I've
some
never
wild
been on
shit.
Frontier. I had good experiences with Spirit, though.
Really?
I've flown Spirit twice.
Where to?
One from LA to Vegas, which, that's an easy flight. But the other was from the Bay Area to Detroit.
Ooh.
I went on a
How long is that? Like 3 hours?
couple hours, yeah. It was with a church conference, so they paid for it. I had no choice. But, man, it wasn't that bad. It was just crowded.
Man.
I'm some of the best chicken I've had.
Don't lie to the people, man. Tell them the truth. Is it really that good?
It's pretty good. It has a very, very, I like this one better than that one. I love this crunch. I love this flavor.
No, this is really good.
But they're both really good.
This boy killing this shit. I'm on my second wing.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Look, you see me tearing this chicken up.
All right. So, shit is redunkulous because flight attendants should not have to put up with that shit.
100%.
My question is, where's the U.S. Marshal? So, like, when these flights are happening, where's the U.S. Marshal and all that?
Right. I thought the same thing earlier in the pandemic when the anti-maskers were causing chaos, right? I'm like, where's the marshal?
Where's the air marshal at?
Did they have layoffs too?
I don't know. That's just a great question because I would love to ask the airlines that because if I was a flight attendant, I wouldn't want to work
Without protection?
Yeah, 100%, dog. 100%.
And then people keep trying this stuff because they know there's no marshal. There's no repercussion for their action.
Fam, it's like imagine working the dorms.
Right.
And ain't no cops coming.
Right.
You're on that duty and you no backup as
It's a
far as
free-for-all.
RLC, People
Right.
come, shoot, man, that's crazy.
No, yeah, that's redunkulous. Get the U.S. Air Marshals back on the flights.
We need our marshals out there. We should, every plane, they need to hire more marshals.
All flights matter.
My flights. We stupid. No, man, because nobody wants to deal with that shit when you flying.
Our flight attendants need protection.
So y'all be safe. Wear your mask.
Yeah.
Man, check out these fries.
Honey butter fries from Vons. This is
Yo, this honey
incredible.
really good, dog.
No, yeah. This is incredible.
It's really good.
So yeah, shout out to our U.S. air workers.
Yeah, doing it, holding
Flight
it down,
attendants.
dealing with people.
We appreciate y'all.
Let me eat this chicken real quick.
Yeah, the chicken break. Man, the way you crunch that, you guys can hear that crunch. But while I was working, I would hear this type of stuff, and it would just excite me. And I would be working. Oh, I'd be so focused on my work, just getting it done.
Oh man, because it makes you want to eat.
It's like my senses are just going crazy.
Mm.
You know, like versus staring at a dull screen. Like I really felt something. Like while my senses were being engaged, and I was just tuned in. It was like natural Adderall.
You said natural Adderall.
No, I'm dead serious. I was focused every time I listened to
Get
it.
the fuck out of here, bro.
All right,
I gotta check
go
that
try
out.
it.
I gotta check that out. Natural Adderall.
But the sounds of the show I was watching were very engaging, and they were constant.
Okay.
So you know,
So make sure you keep chewing, dog. Make sure it's
Oh, yeah,
Adderall
right.
for our people. Moving right along to our next segment, we're gonna talk about rewind. Rewind.
rewind.
And rewind is when we talk about the most recent or old music that we enjoy, that we listen to.
Right.
So actual reviews of music that we just listened to. What you want to talk about?
The most recent thing in music that was very substantial is Nas's King's Disease 2.
Two.
I loved hearing Nas,
What's your favorite track?
My Bible.
Mm.
Second to the end. And we listen to albums over here. So
From beginning to end.
to end. No skip, you gotta hear every track.
And then you go back to your car and listen to it.
Then you work out to it.
Yeah. So then you get a real review, like in your car, working out, and not just listen to it on your pod.
Then you ride around town with your friends with it. Ride with your significant other with it. Certain songs resonate in certain moments, and you have
This
to
is true.
find what that moment is.
This is true. Because, some songs, like when you just listen to the album straight through,
Yeah.
the first time, it may not resonate the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm there with you. What song did you said? The Bible?
My Bible, man.
My Bible?
My Bible and EPMD 2.
Okay. With Eminem?
Yeah.
And then EPMD?
Yeah.
Shout out to the legends.
And that's really all. It was that's not really all. It's those two significantly because one was the EPMD shout out, right? Like an homage to older. And I was surprised to hear M shout out some young cats.
Giving love to the young cats.
Yeah, that was surprising. I didn't even think he knew these people.
M's a legend, man. He knows everything. My favorite track was the first track,
Okay.
Respect. I like Street Corner. Or is it Street Corner? Or Corner Store? Corner
Store.
Corner Store. I love that beat. I love that track. It gave me memories, nostalgic memories of old Nas, storytelling Nas, which is he's one of the best at that.
Yeah.
So I love that track. Obviously, the track with him and Lauryn Hill
That's a special track.
was a special track. Try
this.
If you know me, y'all know I love Lauryn Hill.
Oh, Boogie.
That was my high school crush.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man, I love L Boogie, bro. I love
pretty
L
good.
Boogie. But the thing about L Boogie is she only really dropped, technically, one album.
I argue this. I think she has 2 albums.
Okay, don't get me wrong. The unplugged version, I have the album.
Yeah, that's an album to me.
Dude, that's a great album.
And
it's arguably better.
Exactly.
Arguably better than her studio album, which is the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Yes, 100%. The content was if you like the content in Miseducation, the content in MTV Unplugged is out of this world, literally.
My favorite Lauryn though is Refugee Lauryn. Like, vocab.
MC
Lauryn. So, and when she did the movie about San Francisco and she was on the gospel choir. Sister Act 2.
Oh, Sister. Oh, okay. I've never seen that.
Fell in love with Lauryn Hill. I mean, that album was really good. If you haven't listened to it yet, go check it out.
I love to hear my rappers age.
Okay.
And what I mean is like wine, right? Your wine ages over time. Your cigars age over time. And I like rappers to age over time.
Yep.
Nas is aging. He's always rapped, I guess, ahead of his age.
Yeah.
Or ahead of his time.
Yeah.
But now, I think he's like right in pocket with his age. He's like having some generational intelligence now.
Explain to the people that
So Nas, 15 years ago, people called him overly woke or boring because of his content.
Yeah.
Now at his age, right, it's appropriate and it sounds better.
Do you think that's because you're younger though? And you listen to him at
what I mean by it sounds better is it's more accepted.
What if
so on a broader scheme of things, he'll have more success now doing that than he would then.
Interesting argument. I mean,
That's what I think.
No, I that's an interesting take. Y'all tell us what you think. I've always loved Nas. Street Dreams, Fire of the World. It was written.
Question for you.
Yeah.
What Nas record made you realize he was that guy? He was no one to be played with.
I Gave You Power.
Okay.
Which is a track where, if you haven't heard it yet, is about a gun.
Right.
He raps from the perspective
of the bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just such a that's when you're like, oh, this young man is a poet. It's like it's above. Like,
Was that on Illmatic?
It was on.
It was written.
I believe it's the second album. I don't think it was on there. It was
Okay. But yeah, I mean I know that record quite well. But for me, the Nas record that made me realize he was that guy was Rewind. For me, it was a concept that I've never heard before. And I wonder, is that where we got the title Rewind from? From Nas?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because it's just an R.E. word.
Oh, that's right. But yeah, artistically, I'd never heard a song like that made sense, forwards and backwards. That was mind blowing.
Yeah, like artistically, it's just his methodology, his delivery, his concept of writing music was just different.
Yeah.
Like you Power, Rewind. If you haven't heard those songs, go look it up. So I'm eating with my fingers too much. You just eat it straight up.
What do you mean?
I pick my chicken apart.
Oh, you pick it?
Sometimes.
No. So we used to get in trouble for picking at our food. So I never pick at it. You just eat it.
No, that's cool.
And then you had to eat the chicken down to the gristle, or you wasn't eating your chicken.
Yeah. I mean, when you eat it with rice, right?
Yeah.
Like I pick on it because I
the
pair it
rice.
with the rice.
Makes sense.
And so that's why you pick on it. But like if it's just chicken, you should just be ripping that apart. But I'm so used to picking it apart.
To each his own.
Anyways, that's our Rewind, y'all.
Shout out to Nas. Shout out to the OGs of rap.
Yes, sir.
As he got richer, his rap got richer.
He's still great to me, regardless. Our next segment, you got any good reads and reviews? Anything you've been watching? Anything you've been reading?
You know, this question always gets me. I watch a lot of random stuff.
Like?
The Last Boyscout with Damon Wayans.
That's a legendary movie.
I had no clue this was a legendary movie.
I love that movie, dog.
I put it on. It was just, it's an old movie. Saw it on Netflix. Bro. I put it on. All of a sudden, the football player blows his brains out. I'm like, yo, what am I watching?
He's running, just pulls out a gun. Bah!
It was crazy.
Crazy.
And I love Damon Wayans. One of my favorites. I'm a sitcom guy, so one of my favorite sitcoms was My Wife and Kids, starring Damon Wayans and Tisha Campbell. So anything Damon Wayans, I'll click on it. And you assume this is a comedy, and it's the total opposite.
No, it's crazy.
It's the total opposite.
Crazy.
Great movie. So if you haven't seen that, go watch that.
Early 90s,
film.
bro.
Yep.
Early 90s.
Halle Berry.
That was a crazy movie.
All right, what about you? Goodreads reviews?
Goodreads reviews. So I don't even know the Japanese name of this manga slash like movie series. It's about a warrior, Battousai. I've never read a manga book in my life, but I'm about to.
And manga is like anime?
Anime, yeah. I remember we were talking to your boy.
Yeah. Oh, Mozzie.
Yeah, shout out to Mozzie, man. Shout out to Mozzie. Mozzie was schooling us on mangas.
Yeah, an anime.
You know, I am an anime guy. You an anime guy.
Right.
So it was like, I was getting schooled. And then when I watched this movie, I was just like, yo, I got to get this damn book. That shit was so good, bro. And I'm kind of obsessed with it right now. So I'm watching that on Netflix, but they only released episode 1 and 5.
Make you wait.
And no, but the thing is, it's out on Amazon, but you got to rent it.
Okay.
You got to pay for it.
Right.
But yeah, and then any reads?
I've been reading a lot of articles on cybersecurity. This is random. Cybersecurity, cyber threats. Because that's the new field that I work in now.
Okay, congratulations.
So thank you. So I've just been really reading and bogging down into that.
Okay.
It's a mind-blowing and fascinating world.
Okay.
So, and I always suggest you to read things that don't relate to you.
Cool.
Read
that's
it.
Real. That's real. Reading up on Talib Kweli's new book.
Okay.
It's about his life.
Yeah.
It's basically his new book. And then I'm also reading up on home ownership internationally.
International home ownership.
Yeah. So just little things like that.
International home ownership.
That's just a goal.
So when we go to places like Tulum or wherever and you rent these Airbnbs, someone owns that. And they're making money off that.
Florence. I love Florence.
Do you want to do vacation rental or is it just for you?
That's a whole nother podcast. You're going to have to tune in. We won't give that away yet.
Okay.
But yeah, man, that's our good reason reviews. You want to transition to anything else?
So, I mean, right now what's big in our culture here is the Olympics.
Action reaction. Olympics. We talk about sports on action reaction. I think the highlight for me was 2 people specifically, and they're both women. Alyson, Felix.
Amazing.
Her amazing journey, the most decorated medal, like American.
American. Is she the most decorated?
I think track. Because I think Michael Phelps is.
That's right.
Probably the most decorated. So Alyson Felix's journey, what she's overcame, all the things she's done.
I mean, that is amazing to come back from giving birth, stepped off the track for a few years, come back.
Lose sponsorship because she had a kid.
Created her own companies after that.
Yeah,
so forget your own.
Shady, bro.
And to come back and medal, not just to make it, right? She still plays top 3 in the U.S.
And then she won a gold for 400.
And then medaled in different races.
Yeah, and this says a former track star. So people that don't understand.
That's amazing.
To me, the 400 is a real race.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think the 100 is a real race.
100 is real. Yeah.
For the record, let's just have those out there. I think the 400 meters is harder than the 100 meter.
100% harder than the 100.
That's what I think.
But it's still a real race. That is the ultimate.
That's why I want to see Usain run the 400.
That is the ultimate speed test.
Yeah. Can you maintain
400
from 400?
Is speed and endurance.
Because to me, that's a real, like, can you maintain from 400 meters? It's hard as hell.
And then what happens is as you get to that level.
So fast where motherfuckers are just flying.
When you get to that level, it's all about your strategy. The people who run this and break these records and run these really fast times, it's not just speed. They know how to run the race. It's not just go out there and run as fast as you can. Yeah. There's a strategy.
No, but that's what people don't understand is like 400 is so hard because the 100 meter guys, it's literally like, I gotta get out the blocks fast.
Even the 100 is a strategy.
100%. But I'm just saying, like, you have a shorter time though.
Oh yeah.
To methodically strategize, you have to be like, plan A, plan B, plan C, boom. Right.
And the crazy thing about the 100 is, typically, when most people run, as the further they get, the slower they're getting. Mm-hmm. Your guys like Usain Bolt, the further he gets,
the faster he's
getting. So he's accelerating.
That's why 200 was easy for him.
Murdered the 2
because 2 was perfect for him to just like accelerate the last 80 meters. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, anyways, we're gonna get lost a little in this, but if you love track, this guy's the guy to ask. My legs was always shorter, so I could get out of the blocks faster than everybody.
Right.
But man, that's about it.
So, what else in the Olympics has
resonated?
Yeah.
For me, Sunisa Lee.
Okay.
Sunisa is the first Hmong American, Asian American woman all around. For me, it was a big deal. I think it's a really big deal for our community being Hmong, because what I tell people is like, we'll never have to explain what Hmong is again to people the way that we normally used to, right?
Right.
So now when I say I'm Hmong, somebody's like, oh, like Sunisa Lee.
Right.
Right, and I'm like, yes, like Sunisa Lee, right? So it's like, it allowed our story to, our Hmong journey and our Hmong story to be told. And that's the beauty of the Olympics. That's the beauty of sports. Yeah. It's organic.
I like that.
Like organic storytelling, organic change.
Right.
Without having to be this like, there's no pressure on her. I don't want anybody to ever put pressure on this young lady. She's 18.
Right.
She's a kiddo. Like, for people to say, you represent our community. And that's a lot to carry. Right? like that's a lot to carry.
Yeah, you don't even
like,
understand
you're 18,
what that means.
Yeah, like, it's just more about just applauding her and saying thank you because she allowed our story to be heard at a global scale.
Right.
And for me, that's a huge plus for our community, a huge step. For the Hmong community specifically, but also just the Asian American experience. I think, a lot of us, as we call it, jungle Asians, a lot of jungle Asians, we feel underrepresented, and just in everything.
Because you only really hear about,
the Asian Americans that have countries.
Right.
So China has, Chinese people have China. All these, communities have representations and they have a country.
Right.
But when you're a minority group like the Mien or the Hmong and you don't have a country, it's hard to get representation. So that meant a lot.
Jungle Asian because largely these populations live in the jungle?
Yeah, we're tribal people that live in the jungles of Southeast Asia, throughout the different parts of Vietnam, Laos, Thai. We still see ourselves as indigenous and live indigenous lifestyles. Right. So when we say jungle natives or jungle Asians, that's what I'm referring to, because the representation is not the same as if you're Korean and you're from Korea, or if you're Japanese and you're from Japan, or you have parents or third generation, Chinese, whatever it may be. We don't have that representation. Even Asian Americans, we don't have that representation. So Sunisa's success is our success, and we're great. I just want to say thank you, Sunisa. We love you. The community loves you. You did, a big thing for us. We applaud you. First Asian American woman gymnast to ever win all around and medal like that. So it was a big deal. Obviously, the cool thing about watching her and Simone was their chemistry and their vibe and just their trust in each other. That team is very unique. Like, because people try to make it like a Simone versus, Simone got her issues and she was like,
she had mental stuff going on.
She owned it. She was just like, and I always tell people, and I want to say this so people hear, like, gymnastics isn't like any other sport. Like in track, you can have a mental health day, but
you're not going to do too well.
You're not going to flip.
But you're not going to die.
You're not going to die.
In gymnastics, you will die.
In gymnastics, you can end up in a wheelchair.
You will flip and land on your neck. And
so there's no bad days in gymnastics. Like you can't. It's just like boxing and martial arts.
Right.
You can't really have a bad day.
I think it's subjective to your sport. So there's some things in track, you have a bad day. Hey, you know what? I'm just going to go run. But there's other events. Hey, pole vault? No, I'm not turning myself upside down.
That's what I'm saying. And what she called it, what Simone has shared with people, was that it's called twisties, which means when she does twists, she doesn't know where she's twisting to. Her head and her, So she's never experienced that. I mean, so for her, it was like mental health. regular people can't even do a flip, can't do a cartwheel, but they're talking out their ass, they're talking that shit, right?
Yep.
But most of these people can't even do a flip and not know where they're at. I can't do a backflip and not know where I'm not lying. Like me, I tried it. Can't. It's hard. I don't know where I'm going. So for Simone to tell the world like, hey yo, I need a mental health day. I don't know where I'm landing and what's going on in my body and my mind.
Right.
I think that's empowering, bro. And it's for
it is.
And one thing about
Naomi Osaka did that too.
same thing. And the thing about
She's not gonna die though.
well, I mean, you have a bad day in tennis.
But here's the other thing: we don't know what these people are going through in their daily life.
Exactly.
So we can't judge anything. We don't know.
100%.
We don't know what their relationships are like. We don't know what their family is like.
Exactly.
All we know is that they're an Olympian or they're this amazing
Let's say
athlete.
LeBron has a bad day. His
Right.
mental health day. He might just take a load management, or he might say,
But
I'm
he
going to
takes
sub
load
out.
management, right?
Or I might sub out and I play 20 minutes instead of 30 minutes. He might miss a couple free throws. But in gymnastics, you don't get that luxury.
Not at all.
And on top of that, what I think people need to think about is like,
And your team can't carry you.
And in gymnastics, it happens once every 4 years.
Right.
This week, this event,
But
it.
I guess that's why people have a huge hang up is this only happens once every 4 years. So you have 4 years to get your ish together. And on this day, you can't scream mental health. Take care of that through these years as we go.
Well, I think that one thing Simone, I think there's a question, like people are like, well, she was saying she was the GOAT, blah, blah, blah. How come people trying to call her out on that? And I'm like, well, she is the fucking GOAT.
I mean, the GOAT, yeah.
Like, let's not argue this shit. She's the GOAT. She has 30-some medals, bro.
Right.
Like, there's no conversation. She's the GOAT of that shit.
And it's,
So who the hell y'all the challenger? Like,
I think people are speaking on sports that they know nothing about.
Yeah.
Right? We can't compare Simone to Jordan.
Or
Bron, because in basketball, you can be a GOAT, have a terrible game, and you have teammates who can carry you.
Yeah, and you have, and it's a sport that's played every year.
Every year, you get 60, 70 games. So
gymnastics is a one-time, like, not gymnastics, like, to me, the GOATs are like Michael Phelps, Usain Bolt, Simone Biles. Like, these are GOATs because Olympics is such a unique experience and event.
Yep.
And it doesn't happen all the time, bro. And so you have to respect that. The other piece is Simone was also a survivor of what those young gymnasts went through with that doctor.
With that coach,
Yeah, that molested all these young ladies. So for people that don't know that backstory, go to Netflix.
I didn't even know that, though.
Go to Netflix, go watch the documentary, and it covers all of this. I had to show people so they start understanding the story behind the story.
Point, yeah.
Because for her to be a survivor, the only active gymnast who went through that experience. None of the
the only.
Yeah, the younger girls, they didn't experience.
Shout out to Simone, man.
Shout out to Simone, man. The younger gymnasts didn't experience that. So Nissan, we're fortunate of all those young ladies were not exposed to that asshole. And so for Simone to still be able to, like, so she's her speaking up on mental health, her standing up and owning her body, right? Like, that's all empowering shit. You know what I'm saying? It means more than a gold. Like,
she has gold.
Does that make sense? Like, she has gold. I've done that shit. I've been there, done that. Like,
she's like, what is 2 more?
So to all my dudes out there, that I want you to think about your wife, your daughter, your mom, like somebody you love, and think about them and understand their bodies. To all the sisters out there, I hope Simone inspired you. And shout out to Sanisa. So the Olympics, I loved it. Yeah. I woke up early to watch those performances, bro. Yes. So it was a big deal for me, and I really enjoyed it. But yeah,
let's give a shout out to all the athletes.
All the Olympians.
Respect you guys.
Around the world, bro.
Around the world,
man.
You guys came out and did this in a pandemic. You probably didn't have as long to train. We understand all the scenarios. So way to fight.
100%.
I wonder where it is in 2020.
It's in Paris.
In Paris.
And then the year after that, 4 years later, is in LA. We going.
Oh wow.
2028. We going, bro.
Wow.
We going.
We might go to Paris.
We might go to Paris. Shit.
So the main course of conversation.
Main course of conversation is where we actually tie everything back to the state of relationships. And we dive into this deeper conversation about the main course of conversation and the new topics that we cover. So, looking at our main course of conversation, what did you want to talk about today while I eat this chicken, bro?
Topic that is really kind of heavy on my mind, and within our generation is, I guess it comes down to work ethic. But I'm hearing a lot of chatter about millennials, Gen Z and millennials, right? That and I'm a millennial. But the chatter is that we don't work hard. The chatter is things are too easy for us from the older generations.
True.
And I just don't agree with that.
Why
not? Because I think clearly millennials work hard, right? If you look at millennial home ownership, millennial success rate as far as like material-wise, I guess you would say, or monetary, it's pretty high. So there's some work being done, right? And I think just our standards and our values around work have shifted. What used to be deemed as hard work, right, or what used to be deemed as a good job isn't necessarily a good job anymore, because you can make millions of dollars on YouTube videos, or you can make millions of dollars overnight on a cryptocurrency. And you can be any age to do that, right? So technology has advanced my generation into, I guess, more lucrative opportunities at an earlier age.
I'm sure. That's good.
So that's my thought, really.
Okay.
And, you know, then we have things, we have OnlyFans, you have all these ways, or
Wait, say that again? You have only what?
OnlyFans, Patreon, right? People are
different ways.
People are using technology to sell themselves, whether that's sexually or creatively. People are using technology, and
Instagram,
and that has skyrocketed my generation into a level of success, or what appears to be success.
Okay. Well, I read an article, since you wanted to talk about this. I read an article on Harvard Review, Harvard Business Review.
Okay.
And they talked about how millennials. Hey, give me another beer, bro.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Let's go. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh yeah. I love that.
Good cold beer. Again, this is a Japanese beer.
I think reading the article, they basically talk about how millennials are actually more obsessed with work, and they do have a pretty hardcore work ethic.
Right.
They don't use their vacation days as much as boomers or Gen Xers. So Gen Xers use less by like 2 or 3 days, I think, like vacation days. And then baby boomers are the ones that use their vacation days the most.
The most.
Gen X's actually don't use their vacation days as much.
And what is Gen X?
Baby boomers are like our parents.
Okay.
Your mom.
60s.
I'm 70s. A Gen X. So I'm Gen X.
Okay.
And then millennials are your generation.
Millennial, me. And then Gen Z.
Gen Z is the younger generation. 6 to 24
Perfect.
right now. The 6-year-olds, between the 6 and 24-year-olds. Born in, I think, 97 to now. So those are Gen Z.
And I can see that. And even as I've advanced through my career and worked at different companies, vacation time has changed. I don't have to put in for a vacation, where in certain careers where baby boomers may work, they have to submit vacation hours.
Exactly. But the funny thing about the article is that they asked, like, why are they workaholics? So like your argument is really creative and an interesting point, because our listeners may be thinking the same thing, which is, which generation works the hardest? And every generation comes out that think they work the hardest, right? Gen Zs feel like right now, there's an article that they feel like they work the hardest. Right. They have it the hardest too, they feel like.
In some ways they do.
Yeah, in some ways they do. We'll get there. But if you look at millennials, they don't use vacation days. But the other piece is that people ask, is it because they're narcissistic?
Okay.
So that's
thinking what?
That because they're obsessed with work, they're proud, and they take ownership of this obsession of being a workaholic. So the other question was like, what they brought up in the article was like, narcissism could be part of it, where they feel like they're the only one that brings what they bring to the table.
Wow. That's a good point.
So it's like narcissistic, like nobody else could do what I do.
Right.
And millennials
you know how much I've heard that, like, amongst my circles of people who work. I know what I bring to the table. I'm the only one. If I quit, they couldn't even
do this job without me. And that's what the article points out, is that narcissism is part of the millennial identity.
Wow.
Now, whether I agree or whether you agree to this, I didn't say this. Go read it. Go read this in the Harvard Business
I don't
Journal.
even need to read it. That sounds.
So it's like, so they're saying it ties back to narcissism and also the workaholic perspective or angle, because they feel like they're the only one that can do the job. And so it's an interesting article in dialogue that, and so to the listeners, is that true? If you're a millennial listening to this, have you ever said, I'm the only one that could do this job right and bring this
or
to the
something
table,
of that nature,
and you're obsessed with your work, whether good or bad, like work ethic.
One other crazy thing though that we have to realize with technology, you can feel that way, but guess what recruiters are doing every day? Looking at people.
Headhunting.
Looking at people who can do that same job that you can do.
It's called headhunting in the business world, and like the big dogs, they headhunt, like meaning they look for the best recruits for that position, just in case you feel like nobody else can do your job the way you can do your job. And so it's a really interesting question on the main course of conversation here. In your relationship with your work and work ethic and how hard you work. That's our main course right there, which is how hard do you work and how is it tied to your identity, whether it be your generation, whether it be your culture. Some people take a lot of pride in their work ethic, but then it could be obsessive and it could become workaholic and it could be narcissistic.
Right.
Whether you agree or not, you tell us.
Yeah. And I think it's all about balance, man. Like everything is about balance. Life is balance.
Yeah.
But with work, I mean, you're not the only person who can bring what you bring to the table. They can hire someone else.
You're replaceable.
Business goes on. You can quit today. Someone's going to do that job.
Yeah.
And that business is going to run. But to my original point of who works the hardest, I think it depends on what we consider hard work. I think that as a millennial, we can work sometimes we can work the smartest if we know how to utilize technology, right? So I think our gift is we can come into a company, understand, hey, here's the process. Oh, there's actually a software that can accelerate this process.
Exactly.
Things like that.
And yeah, I think knowing your strengths, knowing where you can, the cool thing is that's a part of like growing as a professional is like once you learn your strengths, then yeah, you can excel and bring that to the table. That doesn't mean you know that you're the only one that brings that.
Not at all.
I think that, and the cool thing and how I always try to look at it is like, this is what I bring today. I want to share with everybody, right? I want to, so that we can make the situation or the job easier.
1 second.
Oh, damn.
How bad?
Sorry.
Hey,
No, it's all good.
We have to write when we're recording.
We're at the tail end.
Oh.
No, yeah, we can. That's why we didn't stop recording.
All right.
So this is Brittany,
Hi.
This is Brittany,
my fiance.
his fiance.
Is it big enough to show on camera like that?
I think so.
Hey,
You can see it from my period.
before you try to flex, make sure it's
Stupid.
I don't know.
It's plenty big. That's a big ass rock, y'all. Leave it alone. Millennials flexing. You already know what it is. Let's go. Yeah, going back to our main course of conversation. Basically, my take is this. Work ethic. Everybody has different work ethics.
Right.
And like you said, but some people are really good at bullshitting and really good at cutting corners.
Whew.
That doesn't mean you work hard though,
Right.
So it's like just because you're really good at bullshitting or work, like procrastinating or cutting corners doesn't mean you're really good or have like this consistent work ethic.
Right.
So when you just define working hard, I think some people work really hard to bullshit their way out of things.
Yeah.
Or some people work really hard to find easier paths and cut corners.
Right.
But
when you can just do what it is
that you need to do.
I think one of the key aspects of this is as you just spoke on with defining how we work hard. The argument comes from older generations having to do physical laborers jobs, and they actually had to work hard. It was hard on their bodies, hard on their minds.
Meticulous task.
Exactly. Working, in the steel factories or whatever, our elders had to do to survive. They worked hard.
Exactly.
We have been afforded this new technological gold rush essentially, and we don't have to apply to jobs anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get a recruiter that
LinkedIn.
reaches out to you on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Your networking capabilities have expanded. And, I have to tip my hat to my elders that actually really paved the way for us to get here.
Well, and then that's the debate sometimes where people go, I work harder, I work smarter instead of working harder, right? But it doesn't matter how smart you are or how hard you work, it's about that balance of both.
Yeah.
Right? So like, it's not cutting corners if you're finding a more sufficient way to move things along and still covers the details of things, right?
100%.
So it's finding that balance, like you said.
Sometimes you have to work smart, and sometimes it requires you to get gritty and work hard.
Yeah,
and that balance is what's actually going to take you further in your career.
100%.
And that having that true balance is work ethic.
Exactly. And if you look at any athlete, they still do fundamentals.
Have to.
Because like you can be really good at a task, Kobe,
Right.
Michael Phelps, Usain Bolt,
Right.
Alyson, Felix. All these people still do fundamentals before they go do what they do.
Exactly.
And so that's what we're talking about is like, you still can't forget the little steps.
I like that. Hard work is the fundamentals. Working hard, work ethic is the fundamentals.
Exactly.
The efficiencies are now, right? That's just the sweet science of it that takes you even further.
Yeah, you guys, like, it's like creating a video or creating a podcast, right? The editing, there's no shortcuts.
None.
You just got to sit there and tediously cut it apart. But the highlights are putting the music and the videos and, and the horns and episode 100, y'all. And that's our episode, man. We'll close it on that unless you got any little deep thoughts to share.
That's it. We'll close it out with a cheers.
Cheers.
Chicken cheers.
Chicken cheers. I'm going to take that for Sid. I'm going to drink the beer. This is Professor Dean, and you're rocking with us on the State of Reed with
FoReal Khalil.
And we are grateful and thankful that you've joined us for episode 100. And we are blessed and honored to be here in 2021 with all of you gone through as a world.
That's right.
So thank you. Blessings, love.
Peace.
We're out. And remember, everybody, we are relationships.
And who you invest in.
That's right.